Thanks so much. Welcome to Pepe's Bar. Who could
Thank
imagine that?
Yes, indeed. Never thought. I am going to, some people are going to be scandalized that I'm in a bar.
Yes, yes, but I guess it's not the first time in your life. I don't know. I don't
True,
know.
true.
So
People know
so thanks
that
so much for. Sorry.
sorry, continue.
No, no, please go ahead.
I said people know that all the time, any time I've ever been in a bar, it probably has been with you. So it's not the first time. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I am the one. Yeah, that's true. But we are not going to discuss that here. So, but we need maybe to disclose that we are very close friends. Okay, we are family, so that the people understand that, because there is a lot of love from both sides, and yeah, and when we are partners without even contracts, right?
Correct.
For 24 years, something like that, no, something like
Yes.
that.
Our
That's
contracts are written with love.
yeah, yeah, that's true. So let's start. So I know you quite well. The people, some people, that are also worldwide know you, but I think the most of the people don't know you, and they maybe ask themselves, who the hell is people? Why is with Pepe? And they don't know that maybe many things that they have learned are based on your knowledge and or your trainings and so on. And because you are quite reserved, so I am the loud one in the partnership, but you are the reserved one, and the one. So you are the one for the knowledge. I am the one from the party, right?
Interesting. So everybody knows, Pepe, that I am here because I am your friend. You yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So it's good to be here, and well, salute.
Sorry.
After-
Prost. Salute. Salute. Sorry, you are drinking water like always. Yeah,
well,
and
looking at maybe vodka.
I,
Hmm.
people, a gentleman doesn't help, so I don't know.
Yeah, 100% neat water. You are correct. So, so tell me, what do you want me to tell you, or
Yeah, who are you? Who are you, people? If no one knows you, if I don't know you, so who are you?
so I can answer that question at two levels. Usually I say three levels because for everything I have, three answers. And but this time I'll just say two levels. One level is the question who I am, and that's always the search for self, the existential question, right? So I don't know who I am, and my journey is to find that answer to who I am. It, Jesus Christ said in Bible, and that is what I have read. I haven't read Bible, but I've read about what he said. I am I. So who am I? I am I. That's the only answer that can be given. So that's at one level. At the second level, uh, when we talk of Vipul Kocher, what you see right now as a person, um, it's very hard to define a person. So I would try to answer this um, without being too philosophical. This part, I am somebody who, from a professional point of view, loves testing, loves technology, and as part of that, at one point of time, I knew probably uh, almost all the authors, people who wrote about software testing, people who wrote on software testing many, many years ago. And since then, I realized there are so many good people here in the testing world that I should keep my mouth shut and try to listen more, read more, and become a better person who can talk to these very interesting, very intelligent people. That is why you would not see me talking too much or writing too much. So that's about the professional people. At a personal level, um, I'm a person who works on emotions. So never a calculating businessman, but person who runs his business based on impulses and emotions. If I like doing something, I just start that without thinking much about it. Because if you think a lot, then sometimes you don't do the things that you want to do. So that's my basic philosophy for the personal life.
Okay. So I don't know if you remember that by my ex-wife Julia um, told me, and I think she told you that each time when you were there at home, our place, or when we met, because we have met 1,000 times, and she said that you have an aura that calm down. She said, I completely relax. And I said, yeah, that's true. When you meet people, when I meet you and whatever, so there is no stress in the room. Never. It's really, it doesn't matter because we have been working for many things and not easy things and, all the things. And I think one of the most important parts of you, of Vipul, is this aura that you have, that you are. I would not say you are stressless because I'm sure you have stress, but the thing is that you are calm, and um, your impact to the people in the room or there is you give calm. So enjoy, relax, let's talk. Nothing has happened. And do you remember that from Julia
Yes,
or not?
I do remember, and that very interesting experience. Of course, hard for me to say that I have that aura, but if you say so, I would believe you, and thank you for saying that. I think the only thing I can say is that when you love people that you meet and you want their best and you want the relationship to continue at that note, I believe things naturally calm down, right? Because that's all there is to relationship, the love that you have, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. The other part is the modest part. So, like you said, you shut down your mouth. There are people that have knowledge things. So, I've been already for almost 30 years on testing, and I know many of them from the big loud mouth from over over the sea till Japan. I know everybody. So and you are in the middle, and I have met many of them, and I think that is that you are the one. As I think you don't need to hide because I think that your knowledge, your experience has a very good value, and I am not the only one telling that. I'm not telling that because you're my friend. So I will tell that if even if I don't know you, if I know your work or I have been working with you, and the same opinion is other people that we know. Rahul has the same opinion. So and okay, you why is for you why this is important for you, just to be, I would not say in the second row, because you're not in the second row, but you don't want to be pushing there, because you have so much knowledge. You could write books. I mean, we have developed together a lot of materials that the people don't know, that are out there, and not from you and from me, but that's life. And you have by far uh, um, more knowledge than most of the people that I know. Why you are so modest?
So, um, so there is a, if I can be I won't say that I'm being immodest here, but there is a very interesting saying in in my language, which is adjal gagri chalkat jaye, which means that when you carry water in a pot and you are moving with that pot, when the pot is half full, then it sloshes a lot.
Yeah.
But if it is full, then it is quiet. So, so
Okay.
that's a
The explanation is clear to me. That's why I'm loud. Okay. Thanks so much.
and second thing is you have to understand one more thing. That's only half the explanation, right? That applies to a lot of people. The rest half of the explanation is if the pot doesn't have water, then also it doesn't make any noise. And that is my
Ah, okay.
state.
Ah, Vipul.
So there
No,
you are.
no. There you are. Okay. There is also other thing um, that I know about you, and I think that many people that work with you, they know that too. And the question is, do you think that sleeping is overrated?
Good one. So I will first answer your first question and then I'll answer the sleep is overrated. So I will try to, this inner conflict that I always have, I will first explain that. And this is without any jokes or without any light-hearted banter. This is something that is always going on in my mind. Should I write or should I not write? And one of the reasons that I usually do not write is um, the problem, the possible issue of ego. So the problem is when you write, and if you start feeling that, oh yeah, I know so much. See, I've written a book, I've written, articles, and then you start chasing how many people have read it, how many people are saying good things about it. It basically leads to build up of your ego. So that's the reason why I do not write. But at the same time, I ask myself, well, one, should you not overcome that ego? Meaning, I should be able to write without getting my ego involved. And that would be a very good thing because that would be progress for my own self. Second thing is, I have learned so much from people who have written. Sometimes the entire article is useless, but there is one thing which is so fundamentally good about that it changes the way you think. So even the worst of the things can actually teach you a lot. So if I write, maybe there'll be some more Vipuls in the world who would learn from what I've written, not involving the ego. So there's always a there's a war going on. Should I or should I not? And then finally, my laziness wins, not the ego or or defeating the ego, but not writing is always easier than writing. So there you are.
That's true.
Is sleeping overrated? So usually I sleep 3 to 4 hours for 5 or 6 days, and then basically one day maybe I crash for 7, 8 hours. So that's what I do. It's not a good thing, very bad for the body, but there is so much to know and read. Uh, not just from a knowledge point of view, but
Yeah.
for example, even reading fiction. So once I pick something up, I just cannot give it up. So I basically, it falls off from my hands, and I sort of, crash. That is the way I usually sleep in the night. So I'm, in a way, yes, sleep is overrated. If I could sleep less, that would be that much more wonderful. I would be able to read that much more.
Yeah. But where do you get the power to do all of that? Because I mean, people don't see that, but and you are not 20. Okay.
That's correct. I guess it is, just this innate desire to read more. So I have a very powerful imagination. So when I read, I visualize things and so on. So it creates you are in a world of your own, and that's what I like doing. So um, other than that, there is this, and this is something that I'd like to again say seriously. Um, this whole thing about work life balance and winding down and so on, I believe if you enjoy things that you're doing, you would continue to do more. So the secret lies in learning to enjoy whatever you are forced to do.
Mhm. I
So
mean,
that,
yeah. I mean, the thing is, maybe you and me, maybe others, have the privilege of doing the things that we want, and we can decide what to do. Sometimes the things are tough, but other times the things are better. And sometimes you have a lot of time for you. And of course, being the CIO of companies, you don't normally you are not that involved in the operations. You are involved in the operation. I cannot do what you are doing. So I do not have the power of that. But um, there are other people there that they have really problems in the job. And I mean, a very good friend of mine, you never met him, Pity, died on last Friday. He was 60,
oh,
like myself. And he had a shitty job, and he was not able to change that. And he smoked a lot, of course. The whole things was toxic and so on. So, and I think the combination of not a healthy way of life. He's not. He was not drinking anymore for 15 years, but he was alcoholic, and so on. So, and for many people that they cannot choose really, or they are in an environment that it not may be toxic, but it may be too hard for many times. Because of course, in every work, even in my company where we try to be as nice as possible, there are times where the win is tough too. Okay, but there's seldom that this happens. Yeah, but sometimes too. Okay, but normally it's not. And I think that there are many people who really it depends when from which company they are coming. They are really struggling with that. So but I know it's not an easy thing.
absolutely. It's, Pepe, I feel this is something to do with your, what you convince yourself of, what is your belief system, and so on. So there is this very interesting saying which says, which is like this: God, give me power to change the things that I don't like, and the things that I cannot change, give me the power to like them.
Okay.
Right. So coming from my Eastern Indian Hindu belief system, we believe in reincarnation. We also believe in the theory of karma, which says that uh, you basically get what you have done in the past. So if something bad is happening to me, I would say, okay, I did something, I don't remember what, in my previous life or life previous to that, and so on. but I must have done something wrong for me to suffer from this, and which means I should take it with calm heart. I should take it with equanimity, and I should not really get worked up. I should not blame others. I should continue to think that, okay, I have to make the best of this situation, and so on. Now, it may be very hard, and you said very correctly that you and I, we are in a position where we do what we want to do, right? And if we don't want to do, we can avoid that. But when you are in a job, you can't change your colleagues, you can't change your environments at the drop of a hat. In that case, again, taking a deep breath every morning and saying, I want to be happy. I'm not going to let other people spoil my happiness. And if you keep telling that yourself again and again, you come to that state where, no matter what is being said, you can continue to be within yourself, grounded, and be, if not happy, at least be calm.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big topic, and I think that, we could spend the whole night talking about that. And but I will come back later on to the religion and to the reincarnation and so on, because there are different topics on my talk, and I know you quite well, so I we can spend
Indeed.
here hours. We can spend here hours. So and one important thing, and I think that yes, I try to create a picture of you. Okay, so this is my aim for the people that don't know you, and I hope that I can get it. Okay, so I try to do my best, but you know that I always fail.
we are all
um,
work,
yeah.
we are all works in progress. So
Yeah. People, what is money to you?
money is a means to do good things, and beyond that, money has no value. Um, when I sit with a friend of mine on a roadside, doing nothing, talking nothing, just observing the world, and my friend and I, we are just sitting there silently watching the world go by without any money, sitting like as if there is no money in the pocket or in the bank. That's an indescribable feeling that I'm telling you. So money helps you do things, but that's about it. um, Pleasures, a bigger car, a bigger house, or more things to buy, that's not really what I feel is money is for. So there we are. Money is not bad, right?
Yeah, I know,
Money
I
is
know.
not bad. You need
Money
money,
is,
and
yeah, but money is not your driver, right?
money is not my driver. Love is my driver.
I know that. That was my next question. What is the driver of your life?
As I said, at two levels. One is at the level of an individual, single, alone. When you talk of the innermost uh, desire, that is the spiritual quest, and this is something usually we do not talk about in person, right? That's such a core thing to you. But since I am talking to you, that's the desire that drives. That is the thing that drives me. And at other level, um, so I know it is not fashionable in many circles to be a believer, right? And the word believer has many connotations, but I don't care what connotation, what meaning people who listen to this take. But if you believe in God, whatever God you believe in, then you would want to do your best and offer it to the God. So when that becomes your driver, then you try to do your best. It may not be the best in the world, but it is, to your ability, the best. And then when you offer it to the God, of course, you want to offer the best. So that becomes then the driver. Meaning, if you give me a task and I do it and I offer it to God, it will prompt me, it will take me to be the best. So that driver is probably the best driver that I can have. I'm not saying I'm able to do it every time, but whenever I'm able to do it, that's a good thing.
I think that I mean we are friends, and I am atheist, so I do not believe. But I do not believe because my experience that I have in Spain with the Catholic Church was not positive, and all the things that I read. And the thing is, when I look at you or the people in your community and see how you behave and how we're talking later about that. So your religion has nothing to do the meaning of that, and your behavior has nothing to do with the religion. I'm sorry if now they crucify myself. Yeah, they crucify me because I'm telling that has nothing to do with the religion coming from the Western world. Because I think that the religion coming from the Western world is always, not always. Let's be now cautious on that, but sometimes it's driven by money, and that's my experience, or driven by power. And if I look at you, how you behave, not only in India, but when we are around, we have been in bars in around the world together. So, and even with the food or whatever, we're talking later about that. So, and I think that that's the difference um, when the religion is something, uh, the meaning is different than than the things that we have seen as a child. But like I said, we're talking later a little bit about religion, but I don't want to expose myself so much on that. Okay, so because I have I have some things here, and then I would like to keep my structure. I'm sorry for that, but I am too German.
All right.
So
Yes, we'll talk
people,
about that later.
yeah, people, when you are down, when things are not going well, um, where do you go? To whom talk you?
So, if somebody else had asked me this question, I would have answered, I go to um, my friends, my family, and so on. And that won't be a wrong answer. I do go to my friends and family when I'm down, and they support. But more than anything else, I go to my guru, my spiritual teacher, because therein lies the ultimate rest. So both are true, what I have told you, but true at two different levels. And it is by um, the guru's grace that you have friends. Otherwise, we would not have met.
Yeah,
And it's by guru's grace that you have good family. And it is, karma that brings you those situations where you go down, and then basically you discover that there is grace of guru, there is love of family that basically supports you. Let me tell you something interesting, and this is a very at least at this point of time, it is very Indian thing. um, So essentially, when you make a pot out of clay, like you do have potter's wheel and you make pottery, right? The pottery or the pot that you make may not be spherical, for example, and the potter takes a flat wooden bat and uh, puts it against the pot and makes it round. So if it is not round from somewhere, it hits it slightly and so on. So the pot might be thinking that, oh, I'm being hit, but the pot doesn't realize that the potter has his or her hand inside and then is beating. Without that hand, without that support, the pot would have broken many times over. And because of this beating, the pot gets a round spherical shape without any um, irregularities, angularities, and so on. So that is the role that Guru plays. And he basically, if something distressing happens, it's basically that potter hitting the pot to make it round and free of blemishes. So with that philosophy, things go all right.
Um, uh, how far do you drive to meet him, your guru?
So my guru is no more in body now.
Okay.
So um, he was 600 kilometers, and I used to go once in a month or once in 3 weeks, if possible. All I can do is tell you that just being in the presence, uh, not even talking, filled you with such joy that it's very hard to describe. And such, all the worries of the world would fall away just being there in the presence. So it's very hard to describe this experience. Uh, but when I use the word go to guru, what I really mean to say is that, when you pray to him, you remember the time that you spent with him or what he had told you. And many a times he would have said something to you that you would remember at that time, which would basically carry you through that crisis and so on.
People is I don't know the word in English for that. Is I tried to say that in my best English that I learned from a book. It's maybe too far away or too crazy to compare the feeling that you had with this guru just for being there that some people experience when you are in the room.
Oh, you mean to say people experience when I am in the room?
Yeah, I told
All
you
right.
my ex-wife, or I told you at the beginning when we are there, so stress is gone. So we are with you, stress is gone. I told you
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah, just
I
saying.
will.
You don't need to say anything.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. I bow
Touching
my
touching
head.
your feet, touching your
I,
feet.
I bow my head.
Yeah, but this is interesting. I knew, of course, that you. I didn't know that he's not in body anymore. I knew that you are visiting because we already talked about that a few
Yes.
times, and this is very interesting. Um, what are friends to you?
What are friends to me? They are my life. Friends are people who have your back no matter what. People you trust implicitly. And sometimes what happens is people come back and say, oh, this guy did this, which is a bad thing, for you, to you. Or sometimes there's you have a feeling that this person didn't do right to you. Then the only thing that I have to ask is he my friend? If he's my friend, then no matter what he does, he or she will continue to be my friend. That's it. So
I hope I never been in this situation that I hope I behave all the time.
of course, you'll always be my friend in this life and the next.
I know, I know. That's we have very strong bonds. No? All right. Very strong bonds, yeah. You you're helping a lot of people, so and many people don't know that you help people, that you're doing a lot of things. Is that also part of Vipul, that you and you are giving advice and really knowledge, and you don't ask for anything, or you just do it because you like the people, even if they are not your friends, close friends. You just do that. Why you do that?
It's a question I have no answer to. It's how I am, and there's no conscious thought behind that. Maybe over a period of time, this became my nature. But I think now that you asked me, I remember an incident of my early entrepreneurial journey. I think this was like 2005 or 6. I had started my first, probably it was not first, but my first company. It was a testing company by name PureTesting, and we used to take a lot of people fresh out of college or people who didn't find a job elsewhere. And so, in such cases, when people were without job for many years, um, I would invariably take them, whether they were good or bad. It didn't matter, because they had a need, and I thought that I could possibly spend my time with them so that they can get a start in their career, they can learn something, and it will be generally good for them. Um, so, in that whole process, a lot of people came and said, Vipul, our life is for you. Just give us the job. And I said, don't need your life. Come over, learn, and that's good enough. But after 6 months, 8 months, or sometimes 3 months, let's say they found, some of them, they found another job which said, come over, and you have to join within a week, or the next day. And they're in the middle of a client project, and they would come and tell me, from tomorrow or from 1 week later, we are not going to be there anymore. And I would be like, but guys, this is serious stuff. We are in the middle of a client project, we have a delivery. People, it's a question of our career. And I would be like, just, you said a few weeks ago or a few months ago that our life is for you, and here uh, well, they went, and after maybe 10, 15 such incidents, I decided that I'm not going to spend my time training people up, because what's the point? They're going to ditch me just like that. And then after a few weeks or months, maybe 1 month, 2 months, I asked myself, how have I changed and why have I changed? I love doing this, talking to people, doing testing with them, trying to basically discuss things, giving them knowledge if I can. And why have I stopped doing that? And I realized that I gave control of my life to other people, meaning they changed me. I gave them the control to change me. So that day I decided that no matter what, I'm not going to worry about whether they are going to go or not. I will do my job. I will work with them. And if they decide to go, perfectly fine. Doesn't really matter. And it took a little while to basically come over or come out of those shocks and so on. But eventually that became my life. And I can tell you that almost everyone who went away, even if some of them said that, 1 day notice or something like that, eventually they came back to me. Sometimes they gave me business. Sometimes they gave me friendship, advice, or just, sometimes they came and said we didn't do right and we are sorry about it. But in all cases, they continued to have that relationship with me and so on. So I hope that in a long way it answers your question.
Yes, I mean, the thing is, to achieve that level of inhibition of the things that are coming, to say, okay, that's fine, that's to understand, and that's not you, that you, it's not your fault, the things, and just let the things go, and without touching your heart, and I think that level of getting, and that is very difficult, and I think um, that there are very few people that can do that. I don't know. I think that for myself, I mean, I'm very good on cutting things. I'm very good on let it go. So if you
Yes.
wanna go, that's fine, go, but don't forget me. So I fine, go your life, go your way. I don't care. I go with my life, so I'm fine with that. So I very uh, I don't like when the people um, yeah, maltreat me. That's the thing. But if not, it's okay. But I have the problem that I do not forget.
So, uh, do not forget is okay, but always forgive. That is the most important thing.
Okay, Vipul, we are coming to a very interesting topic. Um, what is the meaning of being a giant?
All right. JAIN, right? Um, so, by the way, I don't remember whose science fiction it was, where there is uh, JAIN, Jane, aliens who left behind a lot of technology and so on, and they were a set of evil people. So, so we are not talking about that Jain technology from science fiction. Jainism is a religion, micro minority in India. We probably have less than 10 million, probably 7 or 8 million people in India now. We used to be 1.5%. We are probably 0.75% now of Indian population. What it means to be a Jain is, and one of the big figures in Jain religion was contemporary of Gautam Buddha. So the last Tirthankar of Jainism, there are 24, and the last one was a contemporary of Gautam Buddha, and both were apostles of non-violence. So Jainism and Buddhism both focus on non-violence, but Jainism more than any other religion in the world, probably. So we are extremely non-violent people. Ideally, we are not even supposed to eat roots because you kill the plant to eat it. And all life, of course, you cannot live a non-violent life completely because whatever you eat has violence in it, life has violence in it, but the idea is to minimize the violence. And the violence could be of physical nature or mental nature as well, or emotional nature as well. So even if you think ill of somebody, you are doing violence. So being a Jain, first and foremost means being non-violent, which means if you think ill of someone, then you immediately should apologize in your heart. And when you meet that person, probably you should apologize that then as well and not think ill of that person. Second thing that Jainism, uh, there are five principles, but I will talk about only the second one, which is that, you know, it's not a principle, but it's a philosophy. The philosophy is that there is no single way to look at truth. There are many viewpoints, and what is falsehood from your perspective may be truth from somebody else's perspective. So don't assume that yours is the only truth. There are many truths depending on your point of view. So try to understand and learn and respect diversity of viewpoints. So to me, that is being a Jain.
So how, as a kid, how do you get introduced to this religion? There is, for example, in Spain, when you are Catholic, so in the school you have lessons about that, and then when you have the first communion, you need to learn a lot of praise and so on, and then you get the first communion, and so on and so on, and
Right.
so
So,
and so how is that with do you have your own schools, or how do you get taught?
so generally, uh, religion, although for Indic religions we use the word dharma, because religion and dharma, there are some differences, but I would not get into splitting hairs here. So we typically get introduced to it from the family. Now, this is like, farmer sowing seeds. So if you see your parents and grandparents going to the temple or reciting some mantras, or, seeking forgiveness, or doing some spiritual practices, being very non-violent. So, for example, if there is, when we walk, we try to see that there are no ants or insects on the road that we are walking on, and we try to avoid them as much as possible, not step on them. If a dog is dying, for example, we try to basically give it water uh, and say some mantras for praying for his better afterlife and so on. Um, as part of our religion, for example, we give food to various animals and insects and so on, every day as part of life. Um, Even trees, we basically don't disturb the trees in the evening or night. We don't pluck their leaves and so on and disturb them. So basically, you see a respect for life as part of how you grow up. And then there are schools specifically, which you go to probably for 30 minutes, 1 hour, or maybe 5 minutes, where if you want to learn, you can learn some of these practices and so on, and also learn philosophy, etc. But generally, in the schools, not much is taught about the religion generally in India, especially for Hindus. But for Jains, if they have their own schools, then they can probably teach a little bit about their religion, but not too much. So most of it comes from family.
That's good. What happens when we died?
What happens when we die? It's a, I, since at this point of time, I don't remember anything from my previous birth, so I don't know what the experience of dying was. Uh, so what I'm saying is not experiential, but belief. And um, that belief is that the soul, and everybody has one, based on your karma, based on what you've done in your lives and past lives, uh, it tries to find another body at some point of time. It may be, between one birth and another, maybe there are thousands of years, maybe there is only a few seconds, but it tries to find a body. What type of body? So depending on the karma that you've done, it could be, birth as a dog, for example, or a cow, or any, or a tree, depending on your desires. And this is an endless cycle, but the cycle is a spiral. You are always going towards the center, which is finding the truth. And I'm not using the word God here, because in my religion, Jain, there is no God who controls anything and everything. Every soul has the power to become super soul. So it's very interesting religion, which doesn't really believe in a creator God or a destroying God and so on. But independent of what God you believe in, there's a truth, and everybody is going towards that truth. So you try to acquire the body which will try to fulfill your desires that you had in previous lives, also help you get the fruits of the karma, good or bad, both, right? And then you basically, at some point of time, you once your desires are satisfied after countless births, you probably start progressing on the path to towards trying to find the truth.
That's interesting. I mean, the whole thing. We have talked about that many times. So this is, um, um, for me, it's always very interesting to hear that, because this had something, has nothing to do with the point of view of the religion, how I learned and experience in my life. That's why this is maybe wrong to call religion, maybe, especially because you don't have a God that you pray. So and that makes the things very very interesting, especially when you um, maybe also the way how you, I mean, the way you are acting as a person, as a businessman, has something to do with that. Even also in the way how you grow your kids, right? I mean, this is also maybe different than in other places, or I don't know.
True. So, generally speaking, especially the community I come from, and generally speaking, India used to have a joint family system where the brothers, etc., all would live together. And till the time, for example, the parents are alive, even one of them is alive, you all stay together. And one or other of them would be interested in spiritual matters. Not everybody would be. Some probably would not be interested at all. Some would be atheists. Some would be deeply religious. And this deeply religious person, for example, would try to take all the kids and teach them religion. The atheist one would try to teach them about why there is no God and so on. So all these discussions might happen in the family. I remember when I was a kid, I am 14, 15, 16, 6, 7 hours I used to argue there is no God. Every day, every single day, I would argue with people, my elders, my peers, um, my teachers, that there's no God, this is all stupid thing. I
And
used to. And so it's very interesting. Um, there are some things that happen abruptly. When I was 5 years old, I wanted to be a monk. So that's a dream. I used to see a figure. I used to see myself wearing white clothes of a Jain monk. Why should a 5-year-old boy, see that? I have no idea. So then, when I was 14 or 15, somebody asked me a question, and when the answer was different from what I thought my religion has taught me, I sort of discarded the religion. I said, no, if this is how the philosophy of the religion says, I was just 14 at that time, right? So this is a religion that I don't like. And I gave up the religion, and I became missionary in my zeal, rabid atheist, where I wanted to convince the whole world there is no God.
okay.
And then one day, um, suddenly, when I asked myself, okay, what is my belief about God, I realized that I've started believing in God again. When that change happened gradually over a period of time, I don't even remember. So that's all I can say, that it was a pendulum. I was an atheist. I was a believer in, but it's not in the Christian sense of the word believer. It's a different. So I believed in God. The pendulum was on this side, then the pendulum swung to the other side, and then it swung back.
Yeah. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. I
My
when
brother, my brother, for example, same environment. He never cared about being an atheist or being a believer, or being a Jain. So he was what he is still today. He didn't care much about either way.
Okay. I mean, this also fine. I mean, that's no.
Yep.
You see that. I mean, I know we have common friends from India, and they don't believe, for example, or you know they and it's like everywhere. And I think that it's that's also the interesting part, and that there are, I don't know, there may be thousands of different religions or beliefs in India, or yeah,
True.
there's.
The only thing important is questioning. If you keep questioning, you'll find an answer. If you don't question, you'll never find an answer.
Mm, yeah, try. Right. So I have one because I need to. We don't have that much time, so we need to because I have a lot of questions. But one thing, one important thing for me, or things for me, is how was your experience? Because, for example, I remember that when I was the first time in India, so and for me, the culture, of course, is completely different, no, and also the behave is completely different. It doesn't matter if we are in your place or the place of other people, when we're eating and so on. So, and for myself, I was always, I would not say stressed because I was not stressed, but I would say, okay, I said, okay, I need to behave. I need to behave in the way that I follow the way you behave. That was for me very, very important. Okay, so say, okay, in the way, for example, you are eating, or in the way you're behaving, or even when we are going to some place and we meet all the people that you touch the feet and so on. So all the things that this that I like very much, because it's a part of the culture and respect of the people. On the other side, how was the first time when you went out of this culture? How was that for you?
2000, I remember. It was Italy.
Italy.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And it was interesting, very interesting experience. First of all, of course, people told me stories about Italy, that when you go there, be careful about your wallet, be careful, keep your bag towards the side of the wall, and walk towards that so that nobody can snatch it, and so on. Of course, I had not even a single bad experience. But the moment I landed, so the food, the buildings, the roads, the way people, it was all very different, and it was interesting experience. And when I came back, my teacher, my guru, asked me this question: "Okay, so how was your experience? Like, you asked me this question, right?" And I couldn't understand why he's asking that question. What does he mean by it? And I said, "Sir, it was nice. It was, the roads were good. It was clean, beautiful, um, no pollution or less pollution, and so on." But if you ask me from my heart, it had same stones, same plants, same trees, like we have anywhere else. So I didn't find it any different from that point of view. And my teacher was very happy with my answer.
Mhm.
Why, what, etc., I would leave, for you and for the people to decide why he was very happy. But he was. So that's my first experience. And then, of course, generally speaking, India is a very chaotic country from one point of view, and West, especially Europe, US, etc., very disciplined. You give people their space, queues everywhere. Um, you follow traffic rules. That's the most important thing.
I
Uh,
mean, you do too, but you follow your own travel
yes,
rules.
everybody follows their own rules. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. So, you know,
But
that,
it's got better. It's got better.
yes,
It's got better. I was there a few weeks ago, so it
sad to
got
know
better.
that.
It got better. Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. So so was it a culture shock? Yes, especially from a food perspective, and also from some other perspective that I'll tell you when we meet.
Okay, that's good. Okay, we can talk. We never have talked about that, so
Yes. Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah.
So we were
Italia is a nice place. We were there also for holidays for a few weeks.
right,
I like it very much, and I
and
have only good experience.
absolutely,
So.
and
Mhm.
people there, they took me around, showed me Rome. So I had great fun. I was there for 5 or 6 days. It was really wonderful experience.
Nice, nice, nice. So, and how difficult is to maintain traditions and values over generations?
For the next generation,
Or
or for
how's in India? No, no, it's not especially in your home, but it's I mean in the world is changing. India is changing. I mean, each time when I'm there, I see how massively Indian is changing positively.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think the people don't see that because they are not there, no? But it's incredible. And normally, when I would say that when things change, no? That like it was in Spain 50 years ago, so many traditions and so on get lost, or they are changing, or even values. So how's in India now with all this changing?
So I see two things. One, generally with the prosperity. Generally with prosperity, atheism is something that comes especially in open societies
Mhm.
where there are no restrictions from the government to follow a particular path or way of life or religion and so on. So when you have an open society with the prosperity, you don't need God, right? God is required when you are on hard times. Otherwise, who needs God? So same goes for traditions. And also, when you move too much, you lose your roots. And when you
Mhm.
traditions to maintain traditions, you need uh, not just an individual, but you need group of people. So you need societies which follow the same tradition. Otherwise, the traditions get diluted or they get lost, and so on. So you might have seen that in Spain, people living together, for example, on the farms or even in the cities, but living close by together. But when prosperity came, the opportunities were maybe far away, so people moved away, and then the traditions are things that suffer. Similar things are happening in India as well. When families become nuclear, you are surrounded by people from all places, not having similar traditions and so on. But at the same time, India has a very ingrained fabric related to spirituality, and the traditions are woven together with spirituality. So you would find, for example, in condominiums, in apartment complexes, where the traditions are followed. So we have a lot of festivals; those are followed. Uh, every apartment, we would probably have one temple, which will have a lot of different gods and goddesses within the same temple, and so
Mhm.
people can do that. A lot of young Indians have become atheists, but we feel that's the natural part of growing up. When you are, if you are 13, 14, or 25, and you are not rebelling against God, then there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And then, of course, better sense prevails later if you grow. grow with you. It's interesting challenge, but I've seen a lot of young people very, very deeply involved in tradition and culture, and then there are people who don't really care much about it. But you know, part of life. So I don't think there is something new which is happening. It's, this is how it was 50 years ago. Hopefully that's how it will continue to be 50 years from now.
People, what is a blessing in your life?
Guru, that's the
You could,
biggest blessing. Yes,
yeah.
because all things happen only because of that.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. Yeah, that's very nice. People, have you missed a question from my side, or do you have a wish for a question?
Yeah, sure. Many, but of course, there's only so much time. Um, the question, it's like, me asking you a question.
Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
So, if you would want me to do something, what those one or two things would be? And if you want to change one or two things, come on, one or two things in my life or in my behavior or, whatever I do, what would that be?
Again, I was distracted by the
Balloons.
by the things. So if I want you to change things or to do things for me, or
Yeah. So there are two things. One, that knowing me, if you would want me to do something, that hey, this guy is wasting his life, he should be doing this, for example. So that, what would that one thing be? And if I have to change something in myself, what would those one or two things be?
I will answer the second one. I think
Okay.
there's nothing there. Well, there's something that you need to do is to take care of you. You need to sleep more. Maybe you need to do some sports, because that's the thing that you need to be long there. And I'm happy that you're not drinking anymore.
Thank you.
No, and I think the good thing with you, Vipul, as a good friend, and I think the people do not realize how deep our relation is. I think the people don't know that, but um, it's very very deep, and it goes beyond the normal relationship that is very very strong. I am there for you, and you are there for me, and I think that the people know that now. But this is very very strong, and I think the good thing with you, Vipul, is um, that we can talk, and I think we have such a relationship that I think that if you are telling me something, I will believe that. I will take care of that. I will be busy with the things that you are telling me. And on the other side, I know that if I tell you something, that also goes in the direction. Sometimes, maybe we can tell a little bit about things. Sometimes you call me and said, okay, I would like to do that, and my first reaction is to say, people, no, please, why, please, let's, no, why are you crazy? So no, please, not with, you know, without telling names here. And then what happens 5 minutes later? Okay, go, so do it, it's fine. So
Yeah.
that's fine. If you think that that's okay, then because I trust you, that's the things behind. And like you said in the talk at some point, um, um, we have this bias with us, and you want to react in that way, and so on. But sometimes it's better to trust and say, okay, you can do that. So that's the thing. But the only thing you need to do, people, and I think your family is with me, especially your son is with me. That's one thing. The other thing, people, is there's two things. Yeah, there's two things. So, and I think that your son is going to be very happy about this. Second one is we need to go snowboarding.
All right. Indeed. So
and
next year,
and you and you pay.
of course. Of
Okay.
course, because
Of course. Of course.
always say
Okay.
that you were paying, but it's always you who has his wallet out before me. So, so I'm not afraid.
But not in India. In India, you pay always in India, right? That's too expensive for me.
Yeah, you got it right.
So we are in the Pepe's bar, and we have some questions that I always do to more or less always the same questions to all my guests. And the first one is, what is your favorite drink?
Mango lassi.
Mango lassi. Okay, that's good. Um, I know the answer of the second one. What is your preferred food? Mango.
Mango. Indeed.
Yeah, we need. I am you. I need an invite for that. You know that, no? I need an
Absolutely. I
invite.
have three different varieties of mango right now in my room. A kilo of mangoes, and only a kilo because I am diabetic.
Okay, so that's why you need to take care of you. Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's okay. People, if you could spend an evening with three people of your choice, alive or dead or whatever, who could be these people? And what are you going to talk to them? What is the topic?
So, my guru, his guru, and my friend in Jodhpur, his name is Rohit. And this I'm saying because other people who I would like to spend an evening with, I'm going to be spending my evening with them tomorrow and day after. So I'm not naming them,
Okay.
right? Because if I start saying, okay, my mother, my wife, my kids, and so on, and my friends, no, I'm talking about people who generally you don't get to spend time with, right? And with all three, I'm not going to talk to them about anything. I'm not going to ask them anything. I'm just going to sit silently in their presence, and that's it.
And learn. Yeah. And
Everything else will
here.
happen automatically. It's like hidden data channels get opened up, and the transfer happens without your without your knowing. So
True.
if I
True.
remember
True.
my computer architecture, there is a direct memory access without going through the CPU, and so the whole knowledge gets transferred. So
Okay. Um, is there any confession that you want to make in the public now?
yeah, a big one.
Oh, okay.
I you know I never valued a routine. So I'm a person without a routine. Some people have their day set like a clock, getting up at X time and then doing this, then doing this, and so on. I do not have a routine, and I wish I have a routine for some things in life.
Yeah. Routine is important if you want to start doing sports.
Yes. So
So,
yeah. So when I
yeah,
was
or you have to make an appointment with your personal trainer at 9 o'clock
yes,
in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning, and then you go for 1 hour, 3 times a week, and that's it,
yes.
people.
When I was doing my
So,
engineering, I had a great routine, getting up at 4 in the morning, and then a jog, and then cycling, and then going to college, coming back, going to karate. So and then spending time with friends. So the routine was very fixed. Studies, sometimes, yes.
oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
missed the
that's nice. Yeah, yeah. My routine could look a little bit different, but yeah,
right.
but it's okay. I think I know the answer of the next question, the last question. I think I know that, but let's see. Where is the best place on earth?
Jodhpur.
I knew that. I need
I
also an
would
invite for that. You know that. Yeah, we have talked about that many
indeed,
times, so
indeed.
we need to plan
And
that.
that would be, possibly we'll not do much about work, but we will enjoy our time there.
Yeah, I mean, you know that I don't work. I just talk.
Yes. And that is, from where ideas and things come. It's really amazing how you think differently about things and make them happen. uh, so there's a lot that I learned just by hearing what you're saying. So
Oh,
I
thanks
look
so
forward.
much. You finally one person that learned something from me. Oh my God. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm here because I can do things too, but it's okay.
So
It's not
next
about
year,
me.
yeah. So next year we are going to do Jodhpur.
Okay, so let me know when, and then I will be there. So
Yes.
the important thing is it's not in the season for snowboarding. So then
Yes.
it's fine.
Absolutely. Snowboarding we will do together, right? So
Yeah, yeah. Vipul, thanks so much, my dear. It was wonderful, and I hope to see you soon. Yeah.
I too,
Okay.
Pepe. It was great speaking with you because we have spoken so many times, but never in this manner. So it was really
Yeah, that's
interesting.
true. That's true. And yeah, take care. Best regards to the family. Okay.
You too.
And
Thank
I
you.
hope to see you soon.